Hello, it's Mara from Houseplants, New Jersey. Today we're going to be talking about my Thai constellation. There's something wrong with it. I don't know. It's like kind of got wrinkly leaves and everything. I have it in this orchid pot. I planted it. Now I just took it. I watered it today, so it's dripping a little bit. I just took it out and I put it into this other Tupperware. But I kind of just want to check the roots, and I want to get it on a better moss pole because this moss pole that I have it on is the one that I made myself, and I kind of want to put it on one of these plastic back moss poles. I feel like they hold the water way better and they make the plant look prettier too. I have to say, the only problem here is that this is rooted into this moss pole, so I have never dealt with anything like that yet. But I guess we'll do it together. So, yeah, let's check it out. Let's take this plant out of the soil and we're gonna check the roots. Okay. So let me angle you down because we're going to do that right now. And make sure that there's no like leaves being pinned up. No, there's nothing. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this out of the soil. All right. That I had. Now, this was over the winter that they started getting a little funky. The roots look pretty healthy, I have to say. Oh, wait. Here's some mushy root. Here's some mushy root too. I might have to I'm going to cut these off. And then let me get this other part off of the moss pole. Oop. I guess it wasn't that well rooted into the moss pole. It's only a little bit. Yeah, there's still roots on here, so that's good. So I guess we'll just get rid of this moss pole. Yay! We did it. We got rid of that moss pole. So I am going to cut off. These roots feel really good. There was just some. Where were they? They were over here. This one here. This didn't feel so great. This one, I pulled the sheathing off of it, so it doesn't feel that great. And I'm also going to put this in a terracotta. Oh, see, there's root rot here too. So I'm also going to put this in a terracotta bowl because these are known to get root rot. So from overwatering, and if I didn't have the right moss pool, so moss pool drying out so fast, every time I would water, it would spill everywhere and it would go into the soil. So, and I've had this plant for like 2 years now, and it throws out a leaf like once every few months, like maybe every 4 months or something. So, not cool. All right, give me a second. I'm just gonna go get some scissors. Oh wait, I have scissors here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut that root right there, get it off of there, and see if there's any other roots that need to be cut. Let me just cut right there anyway. Pull that off. I'm trying to get as much soil off as I can so I could see. Yeah, Barry, the roots look really good actually, considering these are really slow growers, but I really wanted to excel this year. And what I'm going to do is I want to put this moss pole into this terracotta pot. So I'm going to start with, let me get some moss. Okay, so we got some moss. I'm going to shove some into the bottom of the moss pole. like this so that the dirt, it'll hold the dirt. It should be like at the top of the pot line. So that'll be like right about here. So I'm going to put a little more in there. Shove it in there. Pack it in there. Pretty good. And the aerial roots I thought were, thank God they weren't like totally rooted in there, because now I could use this old soil that it was in and push that into this moss bowl. Let me show you. So I can use this old soil that it was in, put that into the moss bowl, and then we're going to redo everything with like some fresh soil. This is a chunky mix. We have some horticultural charcoal, some orchid bark, perlite, vermiculite, all that stuff. And with the new mix, we're going to use pretty much the same cocktail. All right, so let's put that all in there. And then we're going to put it in our pot. All right, there we go. Now, let's shove it in there. See, this is terracotta, but like the bottom's a little smaller, so you kind of have to bend the moss pole. Oh, there we go. Now we're getting it in there. Bend the moss pole a little bit in there. Ugh, those zip ties really. All right. It's in. It's in. It's really in there. Okay. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to pour some of this water out. Let me see. I pour it out on the tray. And I'm going to take some of my chunky soil and put it into this Tupperware here. I have some chunky soil here. It's pretty fresh. So I'm going to take some out. But then I want to mix in some orchid bark and coarse charcoal and vermiculite. So this is that Better Grow orchid mix. And then I'm going to mix in some worm castings. All right. So we'll put some of that in there too as fertilizer for this plant. Mix it all up. Mix it up pretty well so that everything goes. Now we're going to put some of this into the bottom of the pot. Being that this doesn't have like this big giant root system, this will be great because it's going to mainly focus on growing roots, I guess. That's why it's probably not growing leaves at this moment, because it's trying to repair its own roots that were rotted out. So we're going to put some in the back of the moss bowl too to stabilize it even more. All right. Pack it in there. Pack it in there. And we're going to leave a divot for the front to put our plant on, so that it'll be, oh, I put a little bit too much. Let me take some out. All right, we're going to put that in there. Our baby. And then I kind of want to get some of these aerial roots to be touching the moss. So I'm going to shove it into the net a little bit better, because so I'm going to shove that one aerial root into the net. See that? We're going to shove that into the net. It's so funny, guys. Like I had this, so I ordered these moss poles, and they gave me some Velcro with it, and I've never used Velcro before. Um, but now I think I might have to use it all the time because it's really helping me out here. So I am going to Velcro this on the pole. Put that back in there. Velcro this on. Seems pretty good if you ask me. All right, and then we're going to use some of my soil fell, or whatever. All right, so now we're going to use the rest of the soil here, put it in, top it off with the soil. Make sure it's in there. Worm castings are great for this. So that'll help to fertilize it. And then anything you give it on top of that, it's going to be great. All right. It uses Alaska fish fertilizer because it doesn't burn the leaves so much. And sometimes you will burn the leaves if you're using something like one of those Miracle Grow blue fertilizers or whatever. So let's show you. This is how it looks right now. It looks so much better already. Okay. So that's done. We repotted the Monstera Thai constellation. We put a new moss pole on it, and hopefully it bounces back. No more curling leaves. You see all these curling leaves I have here? I think a lot of it had to do with the winter time, the temperature fluctuations and everything. I know it was getting enough light. I know it was getting enough water, but I do think it might have had to do with a little bit of the temperature. So we'll see what happens. I am very, very excited to try this new method. I hope that it definitely roots into the moss pole, and then it'll be a lot easier for me to water this moss pole too. The plastic back ones are incredible. And like I said before, I was making my own out of almost like floral mesh and then putting moss in them. So I would have to put a lot of stakes into them. I have just in the one that I took off of it today, I had probably about a stake and a chopstick too. So now I don't have to do that. It's pretty solid. It's stable. So I'm just gonna leave it like that, and then with the terracotta on the bottom, this won't get over watered. It'll dry out a lot quicker. Okay. I have a gorgeous leaf over here. This is the newest leaf here. Now, this one here, but it's a lot smaller than what it should be compared to the other leaves. And this has been out for a while, and it's, let me see. It is putting out a new leaf. I wanted to excel. I wanted to be even bigger than this one. Absolutely. I mean, who wouldn't want their leaves to be a lot bigger? So, all right. Thank you for joining me. Like, subscribe, and comment. All right. Have a good night. Bye.